Here's the situation. It's Tool Review Tuesday. Roll the intro. Today I'm very excited to get a first look at this Ridgid tool right here. This is a 3.5 inch round head 21 degree framing nailer. So I'm going to take it out of the box. We're going to take a look at it. Before I do, I just want to tell you a little bit of my experience as a framer. So the very first thing I ever did when I got out of college, my parents had a new house, a ranch style house on a basement. It was probably about a 2,200 square foot house, and they wanted to finish the basement off. So I offered if they would buy me some tools, that I would use those tools to do some framing and hang some drywall. And this was what I used right here to frame the entire basement. This hammer right here. So I've just kept it all these years. It's actually been just kind of a favorite. And then I moved into my own house. Afterwards, several years later, got married, and then I purchased this Senko nailer right here. So this is very solid, very heavy. Just lifting the box compared to this, quite a big difference. So this is not a round head like this. This is more of a, I think they call it a slotted head. I'll compare some of the nail strips from this to this so we can get an idea between the two what they look like. All right, so now let's take a look at the box before I open it and just go over some of the specs. So as I mentioned, 3.5 inch round head framing nailer with magnesium metal housing. Best in class speed. It can do 8 nails per second. That's amazing. Versus competitors' 3 nails per second. That is a huge game changer right there. So it's a 21 degree round head nail. So there's a lifetime service agreement. There are some parts that they will replace for free. I will talk about that in a minute. All right, powerful motor is able to drive a 3.5 inch by 0.148 inch framing nail, which is a 16D common, into the hardest engineered lumbers. Has a dry fire lockout, overmolded handle and trigger, exhaust diffuser with muffler, tool-free jam clearing door, aggressive toenailing claw, check that out, and it has a no-mar pad which keeps your work surface clear of tool marks. I mentioned magnesium housing several times. The advantage of that, strong and lighter in weight. Tool-free depth of drive. Accurate depth protects work surface from overdriving. Selectable trigger, so you can do the contact bump or the single sequential. Self-clean in-handle air filter, which extends the tool life. Tool-free exhaust baffle with muffler. It directs air away in any direction you want, so you don't get that air like right in your face if you're depending on right or left hand. If you're on a ladder or something else, it's very handy to have. Internal piston catch, consistent driving power. Dry fire lockout, so that extends the motor life and prevents missing nails. So as far as I know, if you run out of nails and you pull that trigger, it will not fire. It's enhancing grips with micro texture for maximum user comfort. So it has a swivel quick connect right there, so you have fewer hose tangles. It looks like that will rotate like 360. We didn't open the box yet. Let's open up and see what's inside. Voila! Here it is. All right, has that rafter hook right there. That's cool. Something my other one doesn't have. Oh, okay, I see it swivels. All right, so we're gonna get a closer look at this. I want to show you what's in the box. Really has quite a grip to it. And then it has a wrench and then some oil. I happen to have my own oil, but I will use this to start it out with. Instructions, fastener guide. So they want you to register this tool within 90 days of the purchase. All right, so my overall feeling is this really is quite light. If I had to hold it that way, much easier holding this than my old nailer. So it's a magnesium metal, so it's definitely much lighter. So I'm really excited to start testing this framing nailer right here. I even have the hose right here ready to go. This has 80 PSI hooked up to it in the compressor. And we're going to look at a couple things first, and then I have a board I'm gonna bring over here, and we're gonna really test this thing out. Okay, so the first thing I wanna do is show you, these are the nails right here. These are 3-inch galvanized nails. All right, so they call it a round head. As you can see, it is a perfectly round head on the end of the nail. Compared to what I had before, this is for my Senko nailer. This is what they call a clipped head. So if you look at the end, it actually is a little more of a D shape. So it's a little more difficult. If you're using a claw hammer trying to pull that nail out, you don't have as much to work with. There's a little debate between the two. And if you have a comment about it, please put it down below. I'd like to hear which one you prefer. But I'd say the safest route to go would be with the round head nail. I'm going to quickly talk in more detail now on the warranty. This unprecedented protection covers all defects in workmanship or materials and normal wear items for the lifetime of the original registered tool owner. O-rings, piston stops, and driver blades only, covered on pneumatic nailers and staplers. Alright, so the way this works, it's a rear clip. So you feed the clips from the rear here, and I believe it will hold 2 full clips. And then you pull this back. There. Looks pretty quick and easy. So I really like the grip. It just has a really nice texture to it. It's kind of substantial in size. Just really feels like it's going nowhere when it's in your hand. All right, so I read through the instructions just to give myself a fresh overview of this right here. You know, I have run air nailers all the time, so I have years and years of experience, but I always like to read through the instructions just to make sure that I fully understand everything. So I took the Nomar pad off, that's on the end right here. Otherwise, you have this really aggressive end right here that'll bite into it. So it's really great for toenailing. It'll keep it, it's like a no slip end. Check that out. All right, so I have it at 80. It didn't drive it all the way in, so we're gonna go up to 90. All right, that's a little better. It is just sticking up a little bit. All right, so last night I had a chance to drive several nails into these boards right here. So I experiment with different air pressures, so you can see like some of the nails went in, some didn't. And the one thing that I learned is I do have to turn the air up a little more on my compressor. So I noticed with my compressor it's a little smaller. It works better in the single sequential mode versus the contact mode. That just seems to require more air to do all those nails in a short amount of time. The one feature that I kind of forgot about when I was using this, that feature where it will not dry fire. So actually when you get down to this amount right here, it will actually stop. I'm gonna make a little knee wall. I cut up some 2x4s, and then we'll just kind of see how this works in a real live situation. So one thing I noticed is I prefer just having the Nomar tip off. So it looks like you can just store it down here, it looks like. I really like that, it just digs in. So if you're trying to toenail something, it looks like it'll really bite into that wood and not slip. That's something my other nailer doesn't have. This is much lighter in weight. It does require more air. I turn the compressor up a little bit higher. So the sequential mode, I would need a bigger compressor to be able to pull the trigger and just have it kind of bounce along and rapid fire. So that's something I'll try out again when I ever get a bigger compressor. All right, so overall, I really like the way that this fits, the grip, the balance of it, and I like the way that it built this wall in a short time. So if you enjoyed this review and you find the video interesting and informative, please give it a thumbs up and help support my channel. That's it, friends. Thanks for watching. See you next time. If you like this video, I think you might like a few other videos over there to the right, so please click on those. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, hit that button down below. If you want to check out what I'm doing throughout the week, please connect with me on Twitter and Instagram. All right, friends, enjoy.